Hey, before we get started on today's episode, we have a quick disclaimer for you. Constable Bean is a little rowdy, and there might be a bit of cursing involved throughout our episodes. We are all about sharing authentic well being journeys, even if they're not always pretty, because, it'd be like that sometimes. So we want you to feel super comfortable and respected while you're tuning into our podcast. So if you're easily offended by colorful language. That was a great way of putting it. Great job, Jade. This podcast might not be for you, and that is okay. But we wish you well always. Now, let's jump into today's episode. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Constable Being the podcast where the intention is well. My name is Jade.
And I'm Aileen.
And we're your hosts for today's episode. If you're new here, hi. If you're not, welcome back. So we are recording. What's today's date?
July 3rd.
July 3rd. And it's a new moon. It's a new moon
It's a
today in Capricorn.
moon.
It's a full moon. Shoot. You know what? That is so Saturn retrograde of me to say it like that. That's crazy. It's a full moon today. And so Aileen and I are recording because we thought it would be, I don't know, we're just like sentimental like that. So I just came from like a full moon ceremony on Zoom, and Aileen was texting me telling me what I should be doing for like this full moon. So I don't know, Aileen, do you want to start off with like what is a full moon, what the full moon in Capricorn means, and what's going on? Okay.
So a full moon is a time of culmination and is a promise of fulfillment that starts with the new moon. And this one in particular, it's an emotional time. And it's a time of romance, fertilization, and relationships. And then a full moon illuminates, and that's why it's kind of like a big moon that illuminates the sky, right? So it illuminates and what occurs in our lives. So you'll have new feelings, revelations, emotional ones are there, bursting forth into our consciousness. At least that's what Google says. So
Period. And Google would never lie, like ever. But I think so one of the things that was brought up in the Zoom ceremony, it was kind of like a
I was gonna say, tell us all about this. How
okay,
did you
yeah,
find this? What was it?
okay, so I would describe it. So the way that I found it, so I went to like one of their women's like 1 day retreat. I want to say like it was like last year. It was like a sacred ceremony for like, I think we were focusing on the solar plexus, I think. And so it was either the solar plexus, I think it was the solar plexus. Which chakra color is orange?
I don't know.
Is it the solar plexus? Oh, this is the 1 day that I don't have my Alexa, so I can't be like, Alexa, what? I should really know this. It's either the solar plexus or the sacral chakra. It's one of them. It was, ooh, I almost want to say it was the sacral chakra. That's crazy. And now that I'm saying it, I feel like whatever. It doesn't matter. It does matter. But we were focusing on one of those, and so we wore all orange. It was really pretty. And it was like a 8-hour event, and basically we sat around in a circle. It was a lot, actually. Like, that was my first like retreat situation. And I was excited, but I was also nervous for it because I was like, I don't know how that's gonna go for me. And so I get there because I went by myself. And you sit down on a pillow, you like sit next to people, everyone's kind of nervous, so that's kind of nice. And you start like talking. There was like, I want to say there were like 3 facilitators there to like facilitate the entire retreat, and it was very empowering. And they said like at the very beginning, they were like, just to let you know, like, you know this is going to be like a very vulnerable time for you, but like, just let it happen. Like, this is a safe space, and like whatever happens here, like, it stays here basically. And afterwards, like, you might feel like very light, and you might get like a lot of compliments, because like when you feel light, like people can recognize that. And I was like, okay, like people always say things, and I'm like, we'll see. And they were right. Like I was walking, I think I went to Michael's the next day and some kid was like, excuse me, miss. I just want to let you know you're so pretty. I was like, oh, and you can always trust the kid's opinion because I was like, you know that they'll like tell you like the truth. So that was facts. So we like sat around, we talked about like what made us angry. We cried, which was like a lot for me because I don't like crying with people that I don't really know. Like I prefer to cry in the shower by myself or in the car when I'm driving. Like those are my two favorite places to cry. I don't like
The
crying in
fact
front of
that you
people.
have like a favorite place to cry cracks me up.
Aileen, you
Anyway,
don't have a favorite place to cry?
no.
Oh, I don't know. Like
Mm.
something about
Is this
crying in the
something like
shower.
everyone has? Do
I
I
don't know
name
if
this?
I think Aileen, I think it's nice to have. Like I think it's like a nice little go-to. You know what I'm saying? Like just keep it in your back pocket. Like where do you like to cry? If you need to cry, where do you cry?
Interesting. Okay, okay.
Yeah. The shower is a good place for me because it's like, ooh, am I crying or like is it the water from the faucet? Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, I don't know, like just something it like I don't know. And then you could like really cry and you're just you can't tell. And like especially like every time I take a shower, I like listen to music. So if like someone's in the other room, they won't hear me. You know what I'm saying? It's a great place to cry. But if I do really want to cry, like the acoustics in the shower, like you know what I'm saying, like the sobbing, it's like very I don't know. It does it for me. I don't know, whatever. And then like crying when you're like driving feels like so mysterious. You know what I'm saying? Because you're like
Mm-hmm.
driving and people are like, is she okay? I don't know. So,
Is
anyways,
she okay?
like what happened to her? What's going on? So, yeah, I don't know. Those are my two favorite places to cry. Or like just generally into a pillow is nice as well. Like, but anyways, so yeah, we cried. At one point we had to like sit face to face with people that we've never met and like look at them and tell them like what we thought was beautiful about them for like 3 minutes. And that means like the other person had to be quiet for 3 minutes. And that really brought up for me like how used to how not used to receiving I am. Like I'm not used to like receiving things without feeling like I have to give something back to a person. And so to like have to sit there and get compliments by a person and not be able to return the compliment was harder than I thought it was going to be. And so that was something that I realized that I need to work on, which was like being able to just receive things without feeling like I owe people things. And then what else did we talk about? We did so there was also like art therapy that was included inside of like the session and so we got like painting sets and like a canvas and what like we were all sitting around in a circle and so we like painted something but the goal of it was like to not get too attached to anything as we typically do in life and so you would start painting something but then like halfway through you would have to like send it over to the next person and you didn't know how the painting was going to turn out but you had to like kind of let it go and you did that like 4 times so you ended up painting on someone's painting that like someone else had painted, like 3 people had already painted on, and you just had to add like yourself into it. And then by the time that you got back
Interesting.
your painting, yeah, it was very interesting. Like I was like, oh, this is a very interesting concept because it's like you had to let go 3 or 4 times of something that you were creating and just be like, I created it, I did my best, and here you go, on to the next one. And then when you got your original one back, it was interesting to see how people managed to add themselves to your painting. They like, what they thought was a great idea to add. So that was a good time for me to realize like, okay, Jade, you do need to let things go. I also realized that I tend to take up a lot of things. I tend to take up a lot of space, which I was proud of because when I was like painting, like I wasn't like, oh, let me just like save room for other people. I was like, no, no, no. This is at this point, this is my painting and I'm going to take up space, which I should. So I was proud of myself for that. And then what else did we do? There was like vegan food and stuff, which was nice. And then like we did like I want to say I would call it like mindful movement, which was really nice. It's like moving the body and like breath work, which went along with it, which was really nice. Oh, and then the best part, you're not even believe this. So literally, okay, so I think we did a meditation and we had to like how do I say this in like the most like I'm just gonna say it. So like we had to like because we're forgiving we're like working with our sexual energy. That's why I'm like I really this Aileen, this is why I need to have my computer with me at all times. I'm just like free flowing it and
It's
I
okay, you're
can't
doing
Google
good.
things. It's fine. Anyways, so like the point of it was like to heal like our womb, right? So like our sexual energy is also accompanied in that. And so we did a meditation where we are literally like holding on to our womb and like just like forgiving everything that happened, like basically like trying to clear the energy through that. And that was interesting because they're like, you can hold your womb, you can hold a little bit lower than that, like wherever you feel comfortable. And I was like, I knew we were going to be doing some weird stuff and I like it. But yeah, it was very interesting. And I did feel like it was very helpful for me. So it was, yeah. So, anyways, long story short, that's how I found this Zoom ceremony that I did today. So they every month they do a full moon like ceremony, and this was my first time attending. And so basically, what had happened was we started off with setting intentions, and then we like made a vow to each other that like everything that happened during the ceremony stays in the ceremony. And then there was, I want to say there were 5 facilitators.
A lot.
Yeah, so yeah, a couple of them were the same ones from the first retreat that I went to, and then a couple of them were new. We had one person, oh, I forgot, in that original ceremony or the original retreat, there was also like a sound bath and cacao ceremony. Have you ever done cacao before?
No.
It's like it's like I think it's like chocolate.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but it's, like, different, like, it's not processed the same way, and so it, like, has different effects on you. I was actually thinking of starting to include cacao in, like, my morning routine because it's supposed to have a lot of benefits. I don't know, I'm thinking about it, I'll keep you updated.
Let us know
Anyways,
about the benefits, okay?
I will. I gotta, you know what? And this is why it's nice to have my computer in front of me. I could have let you know right now, but it's fine, another time. Anyways, so yes, so we did a cacao ceremony and then they did a sound bath with us during that retreat, which was next level. I was like, "Oh, this is nice." But anyways, for tonight, the same person that did the sound bath was there and she actually went over like different crystals that resonated with the full moon in Capricorn. And then there was an astrologer who talked about like the full moon and
Oh.
all of our zodiac signs, like our rising and our sun, and how each zodiac sign would be affected by the full moon in Capricorn. So I wrote down yours because I was like, Aileen's gonna want to know, and then I wrote
Yeah,
down
I
mine.
do wanna
Okay.
know.
So for first, I'll read mine. So for Taurus, this is a time for broadening horizons. It's a time to expose myself to different people and opportunities. So basically, don't be so closed off with things. For Leo, this is a time. Oh, and so my rising and my sun is Taurus. So I'm just going to read that one. For Leo, Aileen, this one kind of, when they were saying this, I was like, ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay. So
I'm a little
for
nervous right now.
Leo, this is the time for you to focus on your well-being, okay? Which,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
focus on your
Which is kind of
routine.
funny, but
I feel like I was like, yeah, that I feel like Aileen,
yeah,
well-being,
yeah.
your concept well-being, like I was like, yeah, why not focus on well-being? That feels right up your alley.
Mhm,
Focus on routine, focus on your physical body and take care of yourself. And then your Capricorn, right?
mhm,
Okay, so you will be having profound realizations. It is a time for you to uncover any hidden interests, and there might be like some new style going on with you. They said, like, maybe clothing wise or hair or something. But I feel like in the last episode, you like mentioned like you were focusing on like, do I really want to do what I'm doing right now? And I was like, I feel
mhm.
like this like kind of is really where Aileen is at right now. Am I wrong?
No, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right. I'm reinventing myself right now. We'll
I
see what
love that.
happens.
I love that. I love I feel like I'm also in like a glow up era right now and I'm like, okay, it's time to like I don't know, like part of me always wants to go like hermit mode when I feel like I need to like elevate
Listen,
myself. Do you do
it's
that or is that
so
just me?
funny that you said that. Like,
Okay.
I was supposed to, well, yeah, I was supposed to go out with some people tonight,
Mhm.
and like I hadn't heard from them. I didn't know what time. I think they had work today and I didn't. I was like, well, I don't know what time or anything. And it was going to be like close to my house. And I was like, I guess I could get ready later and go. And
Mhm.
literally, like, one, I look like a troll. Two,
Aileen,
I
you
was
never look
like,
like a troll. You always say you look like a troll. You always look great. So I reject that one. Keep
okay.
going.
And I just did not have the energy to go. And I was like, I just want to stay inside
Mhm.
and I don't have the energy to get ready, go, and then socialize. I was like, I just like, I need to be in hermit mode. I need to just do what I need to do and get all that stuff done. So, anyway, so that's funny that you said hermit mode because that was totally me today.
Yeah. No. And is it just today? Because I felt it too. Like, I just felt tired today. I'm like, is that a thing?
No,
Like,
I felt tired too. Like I took a nap.
I took one too. And I never take naps in the middle of the
Yeah.
day now. And I don't know.
I was like really tired and I'm like,
Yeah.
what the heck? But I don't know. I think it's a lot. Like, I think there's been like a lot of stuff happening. And then now that we've hit this, like, we're like, okay. And it's just like, from my understanding, like, a full moon is kind of releasing, like releasing all the stuff that we've held on to and stuff like that. So I feel like today is like a day to release all that and release the energy.
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
think that,
One thing that they had us do during the, well, not during, but they were like, this can be your homework since it's like a time for releasing is write a forgive list.
mhm,
Have you ever done that before?
I think I have a while.
I have never done that before and I didn't realize. So basically they started off and they were like, forgiveness is one of the best ways to detox. And I was like, I believe that because I don't think I forgive a lot of people. I like hold on to things a lot. Like I'll be like,
Hmm.
I'll remember that. And like today was the first time I ever did a forgive list. And I was like, okay, that was actually really like, I don't know, like I felt more open, you know?
Okay. Do you
Um,
feel like lighter?
I do. Like, I mean, I like really can remember every person that ever slighted me in my entire life.
Oh my God.
And like I will not lie to you. Like I was writing like my hand started cramping because I was like, okay, let me go through all the people that get on my nerves and all the people that I've had to be like, no, I'm not into this anymore. And I'm like, okay, Jade, because I'll like remember it and then it'll make me mad all over again. And I'm like, okay, it's not helping me to hold on to it. Like that's not good for my heart. And so I'm
Hmm.
like, let's forgive all of these people and I wrote down that like I forgive so and then like the reason why I decided that I hate them. And I mean, that doesn't mean that I'm going to like let them back in my life, but I feel like I should be able to let that go. So
Good,
hopefully
good.
like I will let that go. And then I also did your water and salt situation. So walk me through that. What is that supposed to do for the home? Like first
It's
tell everyone what you told me to do because you literally you sent three text messages off super fast. So go
it's
ahead.
because I told you the lady I see on Instagram, so she was saying like on today, or like a full moon, it's good to kind of like take your water. So basically, what you do is you get a glass, you put salt in there, and you fill it with water. Then you walk all throughout your house and you tell God, the universe, whatever, like what you want to bring into your home, right? And so the idea is like, okay, I want prosperity, abundance, peace, harmony, whatever. So then, as you're going around your house, you're saying this, and then you end up taking the glass outside your front door and you dump it like in the planter on the grass, whatever. The idea is you're taking like the vibes you have now outside and you're flushing them away and you're bringing in the good vibes.
Oh, okay. So still very much along the lines of releasing things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, got it. Because I for sure did that, and I look crazy. So yeah, we're gonna release these things, and I feel like yeah,
So is the
it's
day to manifest then or no?
I okay, so during the ceremony,
Hmm.
they basically said like new moons are a time for you to manifest.
That's what I thought.
Full moons are a time for you to release things. but they
Mhm.
were basically like, I guess this is a very special moon. It's called the buck moon. And so they call it the buck moon because young bucks start to grow their antlers. And so it, I guess, like the the question comes is like, what are you starting to grow? Anyway, so it's a very special moon. But they said like you can like charge your crystals and stuff like that and like maybe manifest, but they're like really focus on your energy. If your energy is like not, I guess everyone's energy is kind of wacky right now, right? Like I don't
Mhm.
know how else to say that. But if your energy, if you are not in a space right now where you want to like use that energy to manifest something, then don't, basically.
Got it.
So I would say focus on releasing things. That was the main thing that I got from that ceremony. It's a good time for you to release and like try and find like balance because it's Capricorn. So, okay, so Capricorn, the opposite of Capricorn is Cancer. So it's a Capricorn moon, but it's a Cancer sun. So Capricorn is for work, and then Cancer is for like, I don't know, like the home and self care and stuff like that. So you're trying to balance those things. I think
Okay.
that, yeah, yeah. So that's where we're at. That's what I understood. Listen, I am not an astrologer, but I was doing my best. I was really writing down notes. I was like, no, no, no. I gotta get this. It's also a serious gateway from July 4th to July 8th. Have you heard of that?
No, what is that?
Let me put on my astrologer hat because I am
You know Jade the astrologer.
I really am. Okay, so Sirius, I hope I'm saying it right. Sirius, Cyrus, Sirius, I don't know, is a star. And so a Sirius gateway is when the sun comes into conjunction with this wait, with the star Sirius. And so it's so Sirius, the star is considered our spiritual sun. So
Mm.
that's yeah, that was also brought up and I was like, okay, that's really nice because the lady that was talking about it, she was like, I know everyone's like really into the moon, but I'm really into like the sun and like this is my version of the sun. And I was like, I know that's right, girl. So yeah, she was like, if you want to like write or like we did an art project today during the ceremony, which was very nice. We had to draw like our version of the sun and like kind of make it look however we want and like draw like galaxies and stuff like that and then also write like the things that we want to focus on and things that we want to release. And
Mhm.
so we did that and she was like if you want to put your drawing outside under the moon that's great, but you could also leave it outside until the sun comes up and have both energies charge it. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Interesting. Interesting.
it was a very interesting experience. I would do it again because I feel like it was really good. Like we listened to like music and stuff while we were like journaling. There was like a meditation. There was a deep meditation. I cried today, Aileen, like during the meditation, which I was like, what is going on? So like obviously it kind of hit because I know I said I have like favorite places to cry, but I don't like crying. Like that's not I don't hate it either, but it's just like, like I was just like, Jade, ooh, I was not expecting to cry today. But you know what? Crying is good for you, so it's fine. But yeah, we did that and then we did like a guided meditation where we like had to think about like the last like six full moons. And so
Mhm.
each person we were during those full moons, we like had to like kind of come to terms with those people. But it was good because I like thought back about like where I was in January versus where I am now. And I think that this is a good time for us to reflect as well. Because I realized how far I've come. Like I was like, okay, in January, I was like, not first of all, I was sick with COVID. So like I was just like, okay, you were down bad. What were you doing in February? What were you doing in like March? And like I was like, you know what? We've progressed because honestly, like in January, I wasn't paying attention that much to like full moons. Like I really wasn't. And I feel like I'm more connected now than I was before. And I was like, that's growth. Period.
Yeah, yeah.
Per. Yeah. So
Look at you. Look at you. I think all of us
reflecting.
have though. Like if all of us think of where we were in January compared to now, there's
Are you
been
proud of where you are now versus January? How are you feeling?
um Yeah, because I feel like we're all myself, I guess.
Hmm.
We're all continuing to grow and go into the direction that we should be going in, right? Because I think in January, I was like all over the place. I was in Indonesia in January. So
Oh,
yeah.
I forgot about that. That
Hmm.
actually, Aileen, that was a good time for. I feel like was that not a great time for you?
It was fun. It was a good time.
Yeah.
And then I think it's just like, I think for me, it's like becoming clear on what I need to do and where I want to go
Yeah.
because it's like with my job and everything, time has gone by so fast. It's been a blur. And that's where I'm like, okay, I need to kind of focus on what I want to do and then also like keep the promises that I make with myself. And I think we've talked about this in a different episode is if I promise something at work, I'm going to go and make sure it gets done. But if I promise something to myself, I don't do that.
Hmm.
So it's really going back and making sure that I am doing the things that I promised myself I was going to do.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I am. And like you said, like kind of re revamping myself, because I think we fall to the wayside and it's more of, okay, I'm the most important thing and I need to make sure I'm eating well, I'm exercising, I'm doing the things I want to do and not just so focused on work and all this stuff, right? So I think that's kind of where I am and that's kind of where I need to focus and release stuff and go from there. But I think it's kind of right on track on what you said that I
Yeah,
should be doing.
I really feel like the reading was very spot on. I was like, "Oh, that is yeah, I feel like that's exactly where Aileen kind of mentioned that she was at." So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll
Especially when she
see.
said well-being, I was like, "Oop,
You're like, oh, there she is.
a word, a word." I was like, "Oop." The way I perked up, I said, "Well-being? Hmm, that's the name of our podcast." So, that was
Let me
exciting.
write this down.
Yeah, I
Perfect.
was very excited. I was going to write down everyone's, but yeah, I got tired. But the last thing I will say was so I have a Capricorn moon and I
Mm-hmm.
was like, how does that affect like me with a Capricorn moon?
Mm-hmm.
And it basically says to focus on gratitude, which I feel like you always tell me to do. So spot on again. So yeah, no. All good downloads. Like I really feel like that was very helpful for me. And I found a new playlist that I will be listening to for meditation because that was the first time I've meditated to that type of music
Mm-hmm.
and it
What
was
kind of music
very
was it?
it was like usually I don't meditate to music with words in it. Usually it's just sound. And this
Right.
one it had like mantras and
Oh,
it was I'll send it to you.
yes, send
Um
it to me.
but one of them I'll send you the specific song that I was like, "Oh, this is actually really good." This is a song that I was like I like dropped a little thug tear to. I was like, "Wait, like what's going on?" But it was like the same like I want to say like four sentences going back and forth on a loop and that was the first time I've done that and I was like I think I kind of like that. It's easier for my brain to get lost in that and like focus on that versus like just music because
Mm-hmm.
I think with music my brain tends to wander cuz it can versus like if I'm listening to words I like focus on the words. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think I'm going to try that or like at least include that into a couple of my meditations throughout the week.
Okay,
So
okay.
that
Let
was
us know. Keep us
that was a
posted.
win. Yeah, I will. But yeah, that was I feel like this was a great episode. I know we wanted to record it for in time for the full moon, so I feel like at least we got to have a little chat on that and
Yeah, and I hope everyone kind of gets something out of this full moon and kind of understands things. And however, I would obviously look up your sign and
yes.
see what's in store for you. Um, but I think it's going to be great. We'll see what happens.
It's gonna be a good time. I agree. And I heard that there's like 7 retrogrades that are supposed to happen throughout like the summer or something like
Ay,
that.
ay, ay.
So, yeah, everyone just,
Just hold
be
on.
careful. Yeah, like look both ways before you cross the street and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like just it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. And like whatever happens, we had to go through it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like either way,
Exactly.
exactly. Like even though we're like, oh, this sucks, it's like, okay, there's
Mhm.
it's gonna happen. So it's fine. We're gonna get through it. But was that your final words from Aileen? Your
That
previous
was.
statement?
That
Okay, I
was.
felt it in my heart. I was like, I feel like that was her wrap up. Okay, beautiful, lovely, stunning. All right, so with that being said, thank you so much for listening. We hope that you have a good day or a good night, and we hope that you are well. Bye.
Bye.